Tracy from the St. Mary Parish Library, and today we're going to read books and talk about animals that you find in the forest. Let's get started. Alright guys, we're going to read our first book called Nothing Can Frighten a Bear by Elizabeth Dale, illustrated by Paula Metcalf. Deep, deep in the woods with the moon shining bright, some bears snuggled up in their beds for the night. There was Mommy Bear, Daddy Bear, Grace, and then Ben, and Baby Bear too, who lay dreaming, but then. As Baby Bear jiggled and wiggled some more, he suddenly woke when he heard a loud roar. "Help!" Baby cried. "There's a monster about. He's coming to get me. I just heard him shout." "Don't worry," said Mommy Bear, stroking his head. "There aren't any monsters. Let's go back to bed." But Baby Bear whimpered, "How can you be sure? I can't sleep till I know what made that big roar." "In that case," said Daddy Bear, grabbing a light, "why don't we go looking for monsters tonight? You'll see that there's nothing so scary out there, and anyway, nothing can frighten a bear." So 5 bears went marching out through the tall trees when Mom heard a noise and cried, "Everyone, freeze!" So all the bears stopped. Could a monster be near? But out of the darkness there trotted what is that? A deer! "You see," Daddy laughed, "ha ha, there's no monster out there, and anyway, nothing can frighten a bear." The little bear said, "We're as brave as can be." But no one saw Mommy get caught in a tree. Uh-oh. So 4 bears went striding out into the night when Ben saw a splash and squealed, "There! On our right!" They stopped where they stood on a slippery log. Then out of the water there hopped a big frog. "You see," Daddy laughed, "ha ha, there's no monster out there, and anyway, nothing can frighten a bear." "Keep going," said Daddy. "There's no need to scream." But no one saw Ben slip and fall in the stream. So 3 bears squelched down a thick, muddy track. When Grace said, "What's that? Something brushed past my back." "Perhaps it's a monster," said Baby. "Oh no!" But out of the darkness there swooped a black crow. "You see," Daddy laughed, "there's no monster out there, and anyway, nothing can frighten a bear." They splashed and they splashed as they tramped through the muck, but nobody saw that Grace had got stuck. Now 2 bears were sleepily wandering on. They still hadn't noticed the others had gone. The lamp gave a flicker and started to fade. "I want to go home," Baby said. "I'm afraid." "All right then," said Daddy. "Let's get you to bed. There aren't any monsters. It's just as I said. I told you that nothing can frighten a bear." But then he looked around and saw nobody there. "But where have the others gone?" Daddy Bear cried. "I thought they were here, walking right by our side. Perhaps they decided to go home to bed. Or maybe a monster has got them instead." Then out of the darkness a shadow appeared. "Oh no!" Daddy cried. "This is worse than I feared. Quick, take my paw, Baby, and hide behind me. There isn't just one monster here, there are 3! Just look, they're so fierce. How their scary eyes stare. Now that is a sight that can frighten a bear." "Oh, Baby," he shuddered, "we must run away." But just then the scariest monster roared, "Hey!" Poor Daddy Bear froze and cried, "Baby, stay calm." But Baby Bear giggled and said, "Ha, that's my Mom." "You sillies," said Mommy Bear. "Surely you see, we may look a mess, but it's Ben, Grace, and me." "It's you," Daddy cried. "Oh, how silly I feel. I thought for a second that monsters were real." So 5 bears went home, feeling ready for bed. "We'll all stick together this time," Daddy said. So deep, deep in the woods with the moon shining bright, The bears snuggled up in their beds for the night. Then suddenly everyone looked all around, for something had just made a strange, growly sound. "I'm sure there's a monster now," Baby cried. "No, Baby, it's you," all the others replied. "It wasn't a monster that scared you before. You woke yourself up with your own roary snore. Oh, that silly baby bear." All right, let's go on to our next activity.
Okay guys, we're going to sing a little song about animals you might see in the forest, and this is how it goes. If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a... What do we have? What is this? A bear! Bears live in the forest. Let's see what else we can find in the forest. Let's put you here. If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a hedgehog. Yeah, those live in the forest too. Alright, can you guys sing with me? If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a... What is that? A deer. Deer live in the forest. What's next? If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a fox. Those live in there too. If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a squirrel. Yeah, squirrels live up in the trees. Good job. If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a bunny rabbit. Yeah, they make little holes in the ground. Bunny rabbits live in the forest too. If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see an owl. Yeah, they come out at night and they eat little things and they live in the trees. Let's see. If you're ever in the forest, the forest, the forest, if you're ever in the forest, you might see a skunk. P.U. Ooh. Yuck. But they're awful cute and they live in the forest too. Alright, let's go to our next book, guys.
Alright guys, we talked about all the animals we find in the forest. Now we're going to read another book, Good Night Forest. Let's see what this one says. Good Night Forest, written by Denise Brennan Nelson and illustrated by Marco Bucci. Good morning, forest. Rise and shine. Good morning, maple, oak, and pine. Those are all trees you find in the forest. Good morning, sun. Hello, day. Good morning, deer. Want to play? Good morning, bird. Sing your song. Good morning, stream. Hum along. Good morning, chipmunk. Squirrel too. Good morning, beaver. There's work to do. Good morning, flowers and rustling leaves. Good morning, cricket and gentle breeze. Hello, porcupine. You look lively. Good day, moss, ferns, and ivy. Those are all plants that grow in the forest. Hello, turtle. Come out of your shell. Good day, skunk. Ooh, what's that smell? Deep in the forest, the creatures play. But something happens at the end of the day. What do you guys think happens at the end of the day in the forest? Looks like the sun's going down. A hush falls over, wide and deep. Even the forest has to sleep. Good night, trees. Good night, stream. Good night, otter. Time to dream. Good night, critters. Good night, day. Sleepy time. No more play. They're all tuckered out. Everybody fell asleep. Good night, bird. Find your nest. Good night, forest. Get some rest. Good night, ant. Where's your hill? Good night, bunny. Soft and still. See that itty bitty ant? It's going home. Good night, bear. No more growl. Good night, coyote. Quiet howl. Time to sleep. All creatures do. Good night, forest, and good night, you. The end. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. See you next time.